So, hello, here we are in Santa Barbara. We're getting ready for a track meet. I have my coach, Tony Campbell, with me. And I wanted to ask him a couple questions because a lot of you guys have been asking me about running and later in life and what you can do if this is kind of inspiring you to compete again in your 30s, 40s, 50s, or 60s. So he's going to share a little bit of information and hopefully your questions will be answered, and if they're not, you can always shoot me an email or message, and I'll ask him again for more info. Okay, so what do you recommend if somebody is coming, into their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s? They are currently exercising, running regularly, whether it's long distance, middle distance, maybe even for somebody was a track, a field athlete. Shot put, and they want to get back into this later in life. Like, what's the first step that they would do to make that happen?
The one thing I want to say, track and field is a sport for life, and that's what us track and field athletes want to say, because you stopped at 70, but we've had a couple of videos that have come up recently that a couple women, a couple men that were in the century mark, 100 years old, were still out there on the track running 100 yards, 60 yards, whatever it is. There's a 100-year-old person there on video on YouTube. You can probably check it out on YouTube, doing the high jump. They probably jump like 2 feet, but they're 100 years old.
Yeah.
But for track and field, if you want to get back into it, the first thing I would do would be go to your local usatrackandfield.org website in San Diego, where we live. It's San Diego usatrackandfield.org, and their website has listings of clubs, of races, of organizers, and just start doing the search and find out what's available in your town, your community, and start getting involved with those individuals, and they can steer you in the right direction. There's a lot of coaches out there that work with youth, with masters, with senior level, with elite levels. There's a lot of coaches. Like myself, I tend to not work with athletes until they get to high school. I love youth, but there's a lot more coaches that are out there that have more patience. God bless them. But I just, when you start working with youth, you usually have really large groups. And if you're working with Olympic athletes and youth, the youth tend to take a lot of time, and the elite athletes get a little jealous, or vice versa.
Okay.
So I tend to skew my age group a little differently. And I have worked with some masters athletes, post-collegiate, post-elite athletes, and I still work with a few of those. But to get back to your original question, if you really want to get involved with this, I think the first thing is to do the search, find out what's available in your community, start reaching out to them, and find the coach that best fits for you. You don't have to dedicate yourself to one person right off the bat. Interview them, because it's a relationship for life. So you want to interview them to find out what fits best for you.
Great. And what type of hours are we looking at? I mean, these are people that have full-time careers, and we're trying to bridge that gap of like wanting to train again at a higher level. So what can you expect hour-wise per week for training with a coach?
Well, I know most clubs, they have evening and afternoon training sessions that they get together for an hour, 2 hours. The distance runners tend to go out on road runs together on the weekends, or have an interval training during the week. Your sprinters, hurdlers, jumpers, they go out and do only maybe an hour and a half. When you're talking about training for track and field, a good third of your workout is your warm up and your cool down anyway. So you're out there for an hour and a half, 15 minutes, hour 15. And it's basically the same amount of time that you would put in a gym, you're putting on the track. You're probably burning more calories too, but you still need to put the gym work in.
Yeah. Okay. What are 3 things that could help an older athlete enhance their potential of performance?
Yoga.
Okay.
Stretching, Pilates, better nutrition. Suck in my stomach when I said that. And weight training. Strength and resistance training would definitely help them. The one thing you have to understand, to be a better track and field athlete, you need flexibility, you need strength, and you need turnover or frequency. And so the frequency comes from the running and understanding the mechanics. But if you can't get the frequency unless you have the flexibility and the strength.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so if you start combining those things, it all works. And obviously the diet will help you sustain and repair, because if you're going to put your body through those ordeals again, your body's going to require a lot more energy, high quality fuel, and a little bit more rest.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, you'll be amazed at how much better sleep you get. Hopefully you're getting good sleep,
Oh,
you know,
yes.
without being an athlete.
The minute the head hits the pillow,
It's
out for 8 hours.
Exactly.
And what you're talking about, nutrition, like even though our workouts now are like you said, so much shorter, I would normally go for 3 to 5 mile runs. Now in a track workout, barely 2 miles max, but
Right.
they're in such shorter, more intense increments.
Absolutely.
My caloric burn is much higher, so I've noticed I started to drop a little bit of pounds. So
Yes.
I didn't want that to happen. So
Yes.
you know, I'm eating nonstop. The
Putting a
appetite
lot
is
of
ravenous.
calories.
you know?
Exactly.
So yeah, harder, intense. workouts.
Which is an added benefit to being a track and field athlete or an athlete. You can end up eating as much as you want and not gain an ounce,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
because you're burning so many
Yeah.
calories, which
There-
is a win-win.
There's now a nightly ice cream routine that
Exactly.
wasn't
And
in
not
there.
feel guilty about it. You get away with it. I miss those days. It's almost worth training again just so I
Right,
can
right,
have that
right.
cake again. You know? So,
Okay, well, I hope those were good questions to ask.
Yeah,
I hope that
absolutely.
would help
Absolutely.
them. And thank you for watching. If you have any other questions, feel free to message me, and I'll put those links below so you can start doing your due diligence and research and get back out on the track and field, guys. Have a great day.